What's up, everyone? Nelson and Rez here from Get Set Tennis. Today, we will be breaking down our favorite tennis scenes from movies and TV shows in a segment we're going to call Hit or Miss.
The question is, did they hit it, did they nail it, or do they mess it up?
People will understand what it...
Or we're just giving a technical breakdown of how it works.
All right, let's go.
Okay, first one.
Okay, we kick things off with a absolute gem of a movie called Bridesmaids, and this is the tennis scene. I love this movie. First of all, no one wears visors anymore. Or cotton headbands.
Cotton headbands is a definite.
Oh, well, no, TFO. TFO still
TFO
wears.
does, yeah, fair call. He's bringing it back, though. Okay, first of all, if they're at a fancy country club, none of them are using those cheap Kmart rackets, okay?
So the other thing too, that there is no way in the world that these guys would be hitting the ball that hard and fast with this accuracy given the technique. So what you might notice is they're actually almost like chopping at the ball.
Squash-like.
Yeah, which reduces a lot of your speed. For them to be able to hit this ball this hard, but not have the reactions to duck or at least get a racket up, it's hilarious, but
it's a mess.
It's, yeah. If this was realistic, these balls would, and they swung like this, these balls would be going all over the place.
Good serve, though.
Serve looked nice. We do see that all the time on the court. People push out their partners, especially at the intermediate level, starting to get into competition.
All right, beginning of pennant, adult pennant.
See it all the time.
Yeah, social tennis gets nasty.
So the bridesmaid scene, while hilarious, outfits were on point, especially for a country club. I thought that was good.
Yep.
Rackets probably not on par. Technique definitely not on par.
Yeah, a couple of the swings, though, I'll give Christine the benefit of the doubt. Like, she can play. I reckon she's a bowler.
Yeah, a couple of service actions, I'd say yes. I would give that a 4 out of 10. It's a miss for me.
Yeah, I would give it a 3 out of 10, purely because of the rackets. That is sacrilege. You got to be using good equipment. If you're a country club,
yeah,
pull the money out. Come on,
guys. Where's the money?
Come on.
Great movie, though.
So good.
Okay, so this movie is called 7 Days in Hell. It's a HBO documentary or mockumentary starring Andy Samberg, and it is hilarious. I love Andy Samberg. Okay, stop. Did you actually see that pronation in his wrist?
That was pretty good.
That was incredible. Look at this again. I was about to slam him for his grip, but if you watch this again...
He's gone for a Gulbis twist. Yeah, the grip's off, but the pronation...
Oh, did you see that?
That's good.
Full pronation of the wrist. I give that 10 out of 10 marks. Regardless of the grip, incredible technical breakdown.
Well done, Andy, doing the research.
Andy, my man, Jake Peralta, knows how to serve. Okay.
Oh, that backhand was terrible. Everybody knows you got to have 2 hands on support for the racket for the backhand.
Oh, this is brilliant. I love this. This is so good.
Where's the ball?
Okay, so let me tell you this. They're playing on real grass. So you do see a lot more people diving on real grass. And you do see a lot more people come into the net. So that part being realistic. I have definitely gone in on a grass court and had exchanges at the net, which will last maybe 3 or 4 balls, which is quite high for having 2 players at the net.
Absolutely.
Having 20 plus, hilarious again, not realistic. But the diving is actually pretty realistic too, because they're throwing their whole body at it and they're just slight little flicking motions. So a little bit of both on my end.
I just purely for entertainment point of view, it's brilliant. I mean, dive, the maximum I've seen is 2 dives per point in realistic professional tennis. This is obviously in the 20 mark, but you know what? Pretty spot on some of that stuff. Another
thing that is super realistic, for those who don't know, you have to wear all white when playing at Wimbledon. So these guys have nailed the outfits. They've got the headbands, the all white. It's very old school, very classical. So they're realistic on their fashion choice for this match.
And age appropriate too, like in terms of the era.
Tennis players, I've never seen tennis players get into a fight before.
No.
The
closest I've heard of is Leighton Hewitt in the change room with Gaston Gaudio.
Yeah, but I mean,
20 years back.
On court,
no.
Probably wouldn't happen.
Mouthy, but not physical.
Okay, so on my end, things that were realistic was the court, the outfits were realistic. I thought a couple of the techniques on their swing especially on Andy Sandberg's, were okay, being the serve. Jon Snow, the guy who plays... What's his name? The actor's name? The other guy, not so much. Technique wasn't there. So I would say that... a lot of unrealistic bits. I would give that... I got to give it a miss. That's another 4 out of 10 for me.
See, I like the extravagant. I reckon that's a Benoit Paire versus a Gael Monfils sort of massive entertainment affair. So with the serve, pronation, as good as it was, Andy, I'm going to give you a hit on this one.
Okay.
Well done. Which one's this one?
Okay, so this movie is called Battle of the Sexes, and it was about Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King when they had a bit of a rivalry back in the day.
Who played Billie Jean?
What's her name? Emma Stone.
Steve Carell.
So very, very realistic with the style of shots that they're playing in this one.
Was that the footage? Was that the movie footage?
No. That was the movie footage.
Wow. Yeah. That was good.
They've done really well there. So back in the day when this event took place, they were using wooden rackets. And what you find with using wooden rackets is a lot of these players use what's called a continental grip for most of their shots. Their forehands are quite flat and their backhands are usually played with a slice. So I would say that they have studied this game, this match in particular, and almost tried to replicate this entire point. It almost looks like 2 professional players back in that era have actually just played that point.
Yeah, current players now, when they look back at footage of Borg and Billie Jean King and all these matches, they're quite slow. And it is racket situation orientated because you just can't generate the racket speed that these guys are producing currently. So I think clothing spot on, equipment spot on, and I reckon that's a major, major hit on this one.
Something else that's really cool too is they've managed to capture the whole vibe of the stadium and the audience as well. The way the crowd interacted at the end, and I think even down to the handshake and him jumping over the net, I think they nailed this down to it. They really did their research on this one, so it is a 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Well done, Hollywood. Well done. Steve and Emma. Awesome. Scene's not spelled like that.
Scene's not spelled like that.
Skeen. I don't remember them playing tennis.
Yeah, they did. It was real early. Okay, this next clip comes from a absolute... Oh. All right, this next clip is a childhood favorite. It is The Simpsons, and this is the episode where Homer and Marge get a tennis court in their backyard.
I haven't seen this one.
And finally, make sure the net is tight and springy.
The gaps in the net are just way too big.
Seems about right.
A tennis court can really make your house look classy. I hear Mel Brooks has one. I mean, Sir Mel Brooks.
And it's bad news for the Gophers.
Okay, Gophers might not be a big thing on many tennis courts, but the realisticness of this is that if you're playing and there's a lot of trees nearby, especially on synthetic grass or clay courts, I've played at many clubs where the tree roots that are underneath the ground go underneath and they start to pop up on the surface of the court, which raise the court. So that is not as unrealistic as you may think. Maybe not Gophers, but tree roots and other things, definitely.
That's not realistic.
That is realistic.
Sorry, I grunted way too early.
We win again.
There's no way he'd be holding a burger. I mean, Nick can do it, but Homer Simpson holding a burger?
I have seen Buster on the court many times rally with a sandwich in one hand, and he dominates with his racket in the other.
Buster is an exception. I'll give you that. He's the master. All right, well, look, I know it's a cartoon, but I'm just not sold by this, okay? I just think they made a major miss here. Make it a little more realistic. I mean, you've got millions of dollars of resources to draw this correctly. Come on, it's just a flick of the pencil. Get it right. So it's a bit of a miss for me.
You're an idiot. Simpsons is the GOAT. Sorry, whatever they do is genius, so I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. It's a pass in my books.
Well, you do you, man.
Okay, so this is a scene from the TV show Billions that is streaming on Stan at the moment. And in this scene, the main character is having a hit at an indoor private court with Russian tennis star Maria Sharapova.
Should be fun.
His technique's actually not bad. Little pokey. Ooh. So the first thing I notice about the way he hits the ball is it's not It's not bad. It's just definitely not confident either.
No.
It's very blocky. He understands the concept of topspin. So what happens is, where's that racket? So you'll notice when he's hitting the ball, he is happening to get that brush and go up and over ever so slightly. But then what happens is he comes up quite short, which just means that he would be pushing that ball rather than continuously flowing through with a swing. So if he was doing this, he probably wouldn't be able to continuously match the same pace and speed and spin that Maria would be hitting, because you can see in this one that Sharapova is hitting at full scale.
Yeah, she's hitting at least 80 to 90%, so the tempo of the rally would not be that quick with his kind of swing. It just wouldn't be going the sound that you're hearing. So this is kind of doctored a little bit, but there is some skill there for sure, but clearly Sharapova would be blowing this guy off the court in the hitting at the speed as she's swinging it.
What'd he say?
To let you win next time. I told him that's never gonna happen. You're way too smart to believe that anyway.
You got that right. Thanks. That was awesome.
So Maria's actually using the same racket that she was using when she retired, the Head Instinct. Mm-hmm. And I actually wonder if this is a thing, and if any millionaire or billionaires know this. Can you just hire a professional tennis player to have a hit with? Because I can fully see something like this happening where
billions.
Yeah, a billionaire would be like, hey, I would love to have a hit of tennis. I'm a novice tennis player. I want to have a hit with Maria Sharapova. What's it going to cost me? $2 million? Yeah, cool. No worries. And
then
they just have
it's
a hit.
Definitely a thing. They definitely
Surely that's a thing.
But you have to be in specific areas. I reckon Monaco, there'd be a ton of them. And it's a question of would they do it on. I reckon they do it with ex-pros, like retired pros.
Yeah.
I don't know if current pros would do it.
I think they did a really good job bringing Maria Sharapova in here, and I think that kind of adds to the realisticness to it. The main character, the lead actor, I think his shots were okay. I think they were passable. Look, I'm going to give it a 6, but a strong 6, like almost a 7. I'll give it a hit.
I reckon hiring a former champion like Sharapova is a big tick in my books, and using the correct rackets. His technique wasn't too bad. 8. Ooh. Actually, I'm going to go higher because I respect them bringing in a real player for this one. So well done.
It's just because Maria was in it, wasn't it?
You know what? She is a quality player.
Okay, this next clip is the trailer for the new upcoming movie called King Richard, which is starring Will Smith, and it is a biopic about the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena.
It's a little wet for practice, don't you think? The girls have.
So it probably wouldn't surprise me, especially knowing this and hearing the stories I've heard. It wouldn't surprise me if Richard Williams had Venus and Serena out kind of training in the rain. Whenever we get washed out, we just go, cool, we'll try it next time. But wanting the absolute best for them and seeing how hard he pushed them, it wouldn't surprise me if, they were out doing some sort of footwork drill or training in the rain.
And the era that they're in, they're talking about, fighting against poverty, fighting against racial discrimination, especially in the sport of tennis, which was a very white-dominated sport at the time.
Playing at public tennis courts, especially in Compton, in LA, he would have come across so many difficulties, people coming onto the court, robbing him, taking his equipment, beating him up. Like, it would have been one of the worst and toughest areas to grow up in, really.
Yeah, big time. Big challenge. I've seen this. This is impressive.
I'm Venus. I'm Serena.
Woo, goosebumps.
Yep.
So straight away, you can definitely tell that both these girls, the actresses, who are playing Venus and Serena, they are top players. They haven't brought someone in to teach these actors or actresses, how to swing.
No.
They've taken tennis players and said, hey, we're going to teach you probably how to act.
Absolutely.
These girls so great, how come I've never heard of them? They're from Compton.
Yeah. Got to make a special note right there. One of the assistant coaches to the main coach that Venus and Serena go to early on in their stages is a good friend of mine, Iman Esfandi. We worked together over at Nukes for a couple of years, and a couple of years ago, he actually moved to LA to become an actor. And the cool thing about it, Iman, he got selected or got picked for this role in this movie before they even knew that he was a tennis coach. They picked him on his acting ability, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And then they find out later that he can actually strike a ball. He's a pro player. So I can't wait to see the movie. I'm not sure how big his role is in the movie.
Doesn't matter.
But Iman, I'm super pumped. And
well done.
I think it's really cool that they're using people in the tennis industry to make this movie so realistic. It's got the star power of Will Smith, but it's still got that realistic feel of what actually happened with the pro and, proper tennis players in there as well.
Go Iman. Pave the way.
The most dangerous creature on this whole earth. It's a woman who know how to think.
This trailer gives me chills, man.
Goosebumps.
Oh,
This sounds really, really, really bizarre. I mean, the whole movie trailer's given me goosebumps. I can't wait to see this movie. But the technique on that serve, I used to do a lot of copying of serves. Remember, you used to do that sort of like, this is Pete Sampras, Agassi, whatever. That was almost exactly how Venus would serve.
that's spot on. You can tell they've definitely done some research with that one.
Majorly. I mean, that girl literally copied the serve just for the role, I think. And that is amazing. Amazing to see. So
This could possibly be one of the most realistic tennis movies that comes out.
can't wait. And getting Will Smith to play Richard Williams. Show me the money.
He doesn't say that in any other movies.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's going to do
What's
well.
a Will Smith movie? Quote.
Bad boys, bad boys.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Nothing that can know I'm on my head.
You got to learn the word.
That is... An 11 out of 10 just for the trailer for me. It is a hit.
Major hit, 11 out of 10 as well. Go see this movie.
Okay, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, let alone a movie with tennis scene in it. This is Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler. And at this particular point, Adam Sandler is having a hit in a pretty prime location here. And, well, most of us know what happens.
No, Johnny McEnroe said it was wicked easy. Plus, it was my uncle's favorite game, right?
The fact that he said John McEnroe said it was wicked easy, like, just sets this up perfectly.
Johnny McEnroe.
Johnny McEnroe.
Johnny Mac.
So... In this particular scene, Adam Sandler, who is not claiming to know how to play tennis,
Not at all.
is pretty much dressed how you would expect him to dress. On the other side of the net, the high-end billionaire country club, I would see people, especially early 2000s, wearing something like that, all white, got the knitted vest.
I'm surprised that actually let Adam Sandler's character play in that club if he's like that. If it's a high-end club like that,
Very true.
They would not let him play like that. But it's a movie, so
Or unless he's worth what he is worth in this, which in this movie he's worth $40 million.
I don't think they would do it.
I don't know, man. Well, the thing is, it's realistic in the sense that that style of swing would probably cause that kind of effect.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a little Happy Gilmore in that one.
Oh, big time.
Massive Happy Gilmore swing on that one. Was that a two-hander or a one-hander?
He's in a two-handed forehand with a slight bit of undercut.
Yeah.
And it's gone right into his Adam's
Jugular.
apple. Look, that's probably the most unrealistic part of this is that he would not have that type of aim. It would be bottom of the net, over the fence, into the water. Again, it's probably the most unrealistic part of it. But everything else, they're not trying to claim to be world-class tennis players. So I give this a 7.5 out of 10. No, you know what? 8.5 out of 10. I give it a hit.
All right, I would give it equals 8.5, purely because Adam Sandler's not trying to be a tennis player. He's trying to be a random, regular Joe guy, belting the tennis ball as hard as he can kind of guy.
You know what? It's funny. I feel like I've seen this happen before on a professional stage.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. Bit of deja vu.
Top-ranked tennis superstar Novak Djokovic abruptly disqualified from the tournament after he hit a ball toward the backboard and struck a line judge in the throat.
Okay, this next one is the movie Wimbledon, starring Paul Bettany and Kirsten Dunst. Absolute great rom-com. I'm a big sucker for a rom-com. Let's see how they do on the tennis aspect. Okay, so in this scene here, he's actually, in one of the earlier rounds, he's actually playing an ex-professional called Murphy Jensen. So some of you guys might know Murphy Jensen from the Jensen brothers. They were an American duo doubles team. He's a wily lefty. Both brothers can switch from right hand to left hand.
Yes, they can.
And so when you look at him play here, he's got that style, that effortless style. It's a little bit old school, like a little bit late 90s, but you can definitely tell that he is a professional tennis player there.
Paul Bettany is an amazing actor. He's one of my favorite actors, actually. One of the supporting roles, major roles, all the stuff. He is key in this, in the character of the movie. I get it. But he has obviously had to work really hard, and good on him for doing as well as he did, to work on his tennis game to make it look as realistic as he could.
Yeah. So I think that Pat Cash, ex-professional tennis player, was brought into the movie to help the main actors and show them how to swing. They actually didn't work on hitting the ball so much. They just practiced on shadow swing because the CGI, the tennis ball was going to be put in, but they needed to be able to look like they knew how to swing. You can just look at Kirsten Dunst, Paul Bettany, and some of the other top actors, and you can tell that they've been given a lesson.
It's a little stiff.
Yeah.
It's a little robotic.
First thing for me, if you look at Paul Bettany, if you take one of his forehands, is you look at his grip. I would say it's almost close to a continental grip, which not many players, or barely any players, use these days for a forehand.
Yeah, and it's a huge swing. It's so high and so wild and all over the place. And yeah, it's very interesting. But you know what? In terms of racket speed and giving it a go, again, credit to Pat and the boys and the team for doing that. I don't know about the CGI ball, though. I mean, they had to.
What else are they going to do?
I know.
Second now. That's not so bad. He did win the French Open. At least you got 3 games off. 3 games? 3 lousy games. Last match of your career and you got 3 games? It's pathetic.
So this part is super realistic, and I can attest to this as a player, so can Rez. But when you are in a tough match on the change of ends, whether you've got a crowd, whether you haven't got a crowd, it is ridiculously hard not to talk to yourself and get inside your own head.
Yeah.
They've nailed that, and they've pretty much picked up on all the things that tennis players would say to themselves throughout a game.
Correct, yeah. The mental challenge of just trying to stay in the moment is one of the biggest challenges of every athlete. And you can hear him going like, oh, you know, I could win this or I could lose this. No, stop being an idiot. And it's a constant battle. It's like you're having a conversation with yourself.
So another thing that's really cool is this movie was filmed at the Wimbledon grounds.
Yeah.
So it's completely realistic. It wasn't like a movie Hollywood set. They hired out the Wimbledon arena, which gives it a great vibe of, the ultimate Grand Slam, the prestige of the Wimbledon courts, that grass court, the middle of English summer. They really nailed that perfectly.
Yeah, and also the fact that using professional players as assisting the actors in terms of their matches and who they're playing against, well done as well. Like, it just creates that vibe, that atmosphere. This movie's based on Goran Ivanisevic, a wild card who won the Wimbledon title in 2001.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a very similar story. Like, wild card, out of it. That's the concept, or the player concept. They studied that. And he's using the exact racket that Goran was using.
Ah, there's an Easter egg for you. Everything about this movie is spot on except for the technique of the top 3 actors. And even then, I think they've done a great job, given that they've probably only picked up tennis for maybe 3 months before that. I give this a 9.5, and it's a great watch as well. So
yeah, I would give the tennis about a 7, but I give the story about a 10. There's another component people don't realize is that relationships between male players and female players on the tour is actually quite tricky. They have slightly different schedules. Well done, Wimbledon.
Okay, so there you have it, guys. That is our little breakdown, our hit or miss on all of our favorite tennis scenes in movies and TV shows.
Tell us what you think and what you think is a hit or a miss in some of these movies. Obviously, our opinion is our opinion, and we obviously respect yours. So there's no fact here. We're just having a good fun and enjoying tennis at the movies.
If you think that we've missed out on any, make sure you drop a comment below. Let us know what TV shows, what movies, what tennis scenes do we need to analyze and give them a hit or a miss. Until then, this is Nelson and Rez from Get Set Tennis, signing
out. Boom!